Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today in the sign of God and in the face of this company to join together this man and this woman in holy matrimony, which is an honorable estate instituted of God since the first man and the first woman walked on the earth. Today we recognize this sequence of words to be traditional during the beginning of a marriage ceremony spoken by a pastor to a couple about to be wed. Tell me, how often do we hear the words man and man or woman and woman in amongst this customary dialogue? I stand before all of you with an utmost sincerity when I say that the holy assembly of two people was intended to be the right of a man and woman only, and the laws that have passed in 17 different states allowing same-sex marriage is dismantling the sanctity of this country. Redefining marriage, two words that shouldn't belong together. The term redefining literally means to re-examine or reevaluate. When did humanity decide that something as pure as marriage needed to be reevaluated? In 1996, sponsors of the Defense of Marriage Act stated that the U.S. Code make explicit what has been understood under federal law for over 200 years, that a marriage is the legal union of a man and woman as husband and wife, and a spouse is a husband or wife of the opposite sex. Since the late 20th century, we've understood that same-sex marriage is illegitimate, and yet despite the heart efforts of the representatives to protect the validity of heterosexual union, 2013 proved to be the year that our nation, under God, had lost all understanding in this holy truth, stating that Section 3 of the DOMA bill itself was unconstitutional. The very fact that the LGBT movement is overpowering what's lawful and right in U.S. society is discouraging, to say the least. Same-sex marriage is not only unjust, but it is profane. God himself cannot possibly adhere to this sort of union. Among many biblical verses, please note this one in particular, Leviticus 18:22. Thou shalt not lie with mankind as with womankind. It is abomination. Marriage is meant to be shared exclusively between a man and a woman, and any assembly otherwise is an atrocity. The LGBT members of society are even distorting the views of our children, and what's more important than the opinions of our future countrymen and women? What sort of an example are we setting for them by allowing same-sex marriage laws to pass? We're merely okaying this behavior, and it needs to stop. In conclusion, allowing matrimony between two members of the same sex is wrong. Instead of redefining the age-old custom of marriage, we should be redefining the corrupt judgment of the 17 states allowing legal homosexual union. For the sake of our children, the nation's future, we must protect the divine joining between man and woman that God has intended. Thank you.